Hey learners, hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to my channel. Let's continue with our data structures and algorithm using C series. Before starting with today's session, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe by clicking on the bell icon so that you keep getting notifications. So without wasting time, let's start with today's session. Just a quick recap what we discussed in the last session. In the last session, we discussed about what is computer science, right? Then we discussed about what students of computer science do, right guys? Students of computer science do. Then we discussed about data structure, basic terminology, that is data organization and different manipulation. Then I gave you different applications where data structure is used, like in compiler construction, AI, OS making, database management, computer graphics, many places. Then I gave you some examples of data structures, like some linear data structure like array, linked list, stack, queue, some non-linear like graph, trees, isn't it? And then one important terminology we discussed, that is data and information. Getting? So all this we had covered in the last session. Now in today's session, some more terminologies we have to discuss. Let's quickly start with it. Today we are going to discuss a new terminology, that is data types. Okay, now before telling you what is data type, you all should know that your internal computer memory is made up of what? Large array of bytes, isn't it guys? Okay, so your computer memory is made up of, it's a large array of bytes, means one byte, and it is sequential, next byte, they are all adjacent to it. So that is the reason we call them as array. So we have a sequence of what? Bytes. Okay, and that is your memory. And in this memory, can we store different type of data? You can store information in this memory, right? Okay, so what we can call data type as, the data type you can say that it is the type of information which is kept in this memory locations. Okay, so your computer memory is eligible, your computer memory is made up of large array of bytes and it is having capability to store information in this byte. So what type of information you are going to store in it, that is what form of information. Getting? What the characteristic of that information is, whether it's a whole number, whether it's a floating point number, whether it's a string. Getting? So all that information which you can store in this memory will have some characteristic, it will have some peculiarity, it will have some form, it will have some quality. Getting? And that we indicate it by the data type. Okay, so in simple terms, what you can say, data type means type of data or type of information which is kept in your computer memory or in memory locations. Okay, data type signify the form of data. Data types tell the possible legal values, or it decides the legal range, what can be the minimum value, maximum value. Getting? It also decides how much size will be allocated for that data. Data types also tell the amount of memory which will be reserved, and data type also tells what possible operations can be done on these values. Getting? Then in programming terminology, you can say that data type indicates the type of value which is kept in a variable, And you know that variables are placeholder in the memory. Are variables placeholder in the memory? And are these all bytes having their unique address? They will have some address like 6532. So next one will be 3334 going on. Getting? And when you are creating a variable in a program, it is what? Actually, variable is a placeholder in the memory. It occupies some locations in your memory. Then we give some meaningful name to it. Getting? And then through that name, we access this memory. Means we store some data over here, we retrieve the data. Getting? But whenever you're using this variable in your program, all the strict type languages don't allow you to use this variable without their declaration. You have to declare it. Means you have to inform to the compiler what is the name of your variable and what is its data type. Getting? And then whatever data type you tell to the compiler, accordingly at runtime that much amount of memory is reserved, because for every data type the sizes vary. Some data types take 4 bytes, some may take 2 bytes, some may take 1 byte. Getting what I'm trying to say? So in simple terms, what is data type is clear to you. Data type indicates the form, the nature, the characteristic of the data which is kept in computer memory location. Or in programming terminology, you can say data type indicates the type of value which is kept in a variable. And that value which you can modify, you can access, getting as you want. Right? Every programming language provides its own data type. They are called as built-in data type. Getting, guys? Built-in data type. So every programming language is going to provide its own data type. Means the language designer only has provided some data types. They are called as built-in data type. So language like C is going to have its own data type like int, it's having integer, it is having char, it's having float. Getting? Then double. Okay, so integer is there, character is there, float is there, double is there. Okay, then void is also actually a data type which is not having a legal size. So all these are the basic data types which C language has provided, and all these data types are going to have different sizes and different legal ranges, and different operations can be performed on it. They have their own legal range. Okay, they have different sizes, and that much amount of memory is reserved at the time of execution. Okay, then you can even use qualifiers also along with them, like signed, unsigned, short, long. So these are the qualifiers which you can attach with these data type, like short int, signed int, getting, or long double, long int, that qualifiers. So 4 qualifiers C has provided: signed, unsigned, long, short. That qualifiers you can use along with these data types. Okay, then some languages provide facility of creating user defined data types also. Getting? You can create your own data type, but that data type will be defined in terms of basic data type, also called as a primitive data type, elementary data type. Getting? You call it as elementary data type, primitive data type, built-in data type, scalar data type, single value data type. So those are the data types which the language has supplied, and using those data types you can create your own data types, like array. But only the thing is, array is a group of similar data type. Means all the values will be of the same data type. Getting? Or you can create a struct which is provided in C like language. which is a group of dissimilar data type. Means it's a collection of dissimilar data type. Like one can be integer, another can be an array, someone can be float, and then group of all these dissimilar data type makes a structure. Getting? So they all come under user defined data type, or we call them as non-primitive data type. Okay, or we call it as vector, or we call it as group. Getting? We also call them as group data type, or we call it as derived, because they are derived from primitive type. Okay, so I hope the basic idea you got it. That is what are data type. So in crux, quickly to rewind, and then we will quickly go all this discussion. We will read it on the slide. So data types indicate what? The form of data, the nature of data, the characteristic of the data which is kept in your computer memory. Or you can say from programming perspective, data type indicates the type of value which is kept in your variable. Getting? And every data type decides what? The legal range. What can be the minimum value? What can be the maximum value? Every data type decides the amount of memory which will be reserved. Every data type, getting, tells what are the legal operations that can be done on it. Okay, I hope you got it. Now, every programming language provides some basic data types called as built-in data type, or they are also called as a primitive data type or elementary data type. And whenever you are creating a variable in your program, you have to declare that variable, and when you are declaring, you are telling its data type, so that at runtime that much amount of memory is reserved for that variable. Okay, so we have primitive data types. Language like C gives primitive data types like int, float, char, double. It gives some qualifiers also. And language like C gives facility of creating user defined data type, user defined data type or derived data type. Okay, in which you are creating your own data type from the primitive data types. Getting? So example is structure, which is a new user defined data type, which is actually collection of primitive data type, dissimilar primitive type. Okay, so now quickly we'll go through all this on the slide, right guys? So every location in your computer memory, I already told you computer memory is a large array of what? Bytes, and every byte is identified with a unique number called address. Okay, so your computer memory is a large array of byte, and every byte is identified with a unique number called address. Okay, and in that byte we can store information. So every location in computer memory can hold some form of data. Okay, see here. In pictorial way I have shown you, this is your computer memory, which is a large array of bytes, and every byte is identified with a unique number called as an address. Getting? And in this byte we can store different form of data. Okay, so like I have created a variable sum. So is sum a placeholder in the memory? Yes, it is going to take 4 bytes of memory. So in that 4 byte you can store different integers, because in your program you have declared sum as an integer. Age you have declared as a short integer, therefore 2 bytes. Average you have declared as double, so it is 8 byte, but it is stored in a IEEE notation, Mantissa exponent. PTR sum is a pointer. So as it's an integer pointer, it is going to hold the address of some integer. Some integer variable's address is kept in this variable. Okay, so it's a pointer variable. So these all different variables are placeholder in the memory, and every variable is occupying some space. Every variable is occupying space in the memory, and the value in that memory can be accessed, manipulated, right guys? Okay, but all these variables in your program are prior declared, and when you are declaring, you are giving their data type, so that at runtime, depending on their data type, the amount of memory is reserved for them. Okay, see, so data type describes the form of data, that is the nature of your data, whether your data is a whole number, whether your data is a decimal number, recurring value, whether it's a character, whether it's a string, whatever. So the data type describes the form of data that is stored in the memory location. From programming perspective, you can say data type refers to the kind of data that can be kept in the variables of your programming language, which I already told you. And who are the variables? They are the name given to the memory location, or variables are the placeholder in the memory. Within the memory, some memory locations are reserved, and to that memory location some meaningful name is given, and the value in that memory can change. But how much amount of memory is reserved for that variable depends on its data type, and data type you tell it at the time of declaration. Okay? So data type also tells what? Its legal range, and it also decides what operations can be performed on it. Getting? So data type helps to identify the type of data and the associated operations that can be performed. Okay. Then I told every programming language provides its own data type called as a built-in data type. Okay. Means these are the data types which come along with that language. Means the language designer only has decided that these are the standard data types which you have to use it. Getting? Means something when we purchase, so which come along with the factory built, right? When you're purchasing a car, so in that car already some facilities are given, so they are industry made, and then some people then add some extra whatever they want, they do the modification in it. But whenever the car has come from the industry, they have provided some standard facility, so they are built-in facility. Getting? So same way every language provides some built-in data types. That is, languages provide facility of declaring variable. Getting? And when you are declaring, you are telling its data type so that at runtime that much amount of memory is allocated. Getting? And once you declare the variable, can we access the value, modify the value? Yes. So it gives facility of manipulating this variable by doing different operations on them. Okay. Language like C gives some built-in data type like int, float, double, char. These are the data types, standard data type, built-in data type, primitive data type, scalar data type, single value data type, elementary data type, who provides C. But some languages give facility of creating your own data type also, using this built-in data type. Getting? So some language give facility of declaring your own data type like structure in C, which is collection of dissimilar data type in terms of primitive. So you can take all these different primitive data types and make a group of it and form a new data type. Okay, few examples to give. See, in my C program, I have declared two variables, I and j. So I and j are the names of the variable, and their data type is integer. So both are going to follow the characteristic of an integer. Means as much amount of memory is allocated for an int, that will be given for I and j. Means whatever is the capacity of the integer. So if the capacity of integer is 4 byte, so 4 byte is allocated for I, 4 byte is allocated for j. Getting, guys? I hope you are understanding it. So I and j are variables of data type integer. Means they are satisfying the characteristics of an integer. So as much is the amount getting allocated for amount of memory allocated for int, that much will be given for I and j. And what are the legal operations on int? That only you can do on this I and j. Okay. So declaration of variable of built-in data type int. Then I have created f as a variable of float. So what will happen in runtime? At runtime, in memory, 4 bytes of memory will be reserved, Getting? And the name to that is F, and in that memory, in that 4 bytes of memory, you can store different floating point values. Okay, so declaration of variable of built-in type float. Now these are the variables of built-in data type, means the primitive data type. You can create your own data type also. As an example I have given, language like C gives facility of creating own data type using struct keyword. So struct is the keyword, EMP is the name of your data type. New data type which you are creating is EMP, which is a logical grouping or logical collection of these different data type. NO is integer, name is an array of character of 20 size, and basic is a float variable. The group of these three forms a new data type called EMP. So now you have just created a data type. Now you have to create a variables of that data type, like copy. You understanding? No? This acts like a mold. This acts like a template. Getting? Like when in a bakery they create cakes, but to make a cake, do they use some aluminium mold? So using that mold, they create a tray full of cakes. But for making that tray full of cakes, they have used one mold, an aluminium mold, and using that mold they created cakes. Exact same, this is going to act like a mold, a blueprint, a design, a template, and then from that design you are going to create production, that is E1 and E2. So E1 and E2 are variables of data type struct EMP. Getting? Remember, EMP is the data type now, and E1 and E2 are variables of that type. Like here I and J are variables of integer, same way E1 and E2 are variables of type EMP. Getting? But now here how much amount of memory is reserved? Summation of this. 4 bytes, 20 bytes, 4 byte. Getting? 4 bytes for NO, 20 bytes for name, and 4 bytes for basic. So this way 28 bytes is reserved for E1, 28 bytes are reserved for E2. Getting? See here. Declaration of new user defined data type EMP. These are the members of that data type. We call it as members of struct EMP. And these two are variables of this new data type. Okay. So we are creating two variables E1 and E2 of type struct EMP. Means E1 and E2 are two copies of this data type. F is a copy of float, I and J is a copy of integer. I and J is going to follow integer characteristic. E1, E2 is going to follow this struct EMP characteristic. Getting? Pictorially I am trying to show I is integer, so in memory it will take 4 byte memory. Getting? And in this 4 byte you can store different integers, you can access, you can manipulate. Same way 4 bytes are reserved for J. But as they are integer whole numbers, so how they will be stored? In their binary form. If negative, 2's complement form. Positive, its equivalent binary. F is also going to take 4 bytes, but the storage is in a IEEE notation called as Mantissa exponent. When 1 bit will be for sign, then 7 bits for exponent, 24 bits for Mantissa. Getting? I'm not going into detail of it. Okay, you can study that in any of my C programming series. Then this E1 is going to take total 28 bytes, 424. See here, 4 bytes for NO, 20 bytes for name, and 4 bytes for basic. This collectively is referred by E1. This whole thing will be referred by E1. But how you will access them individually? By using a member access operator called dot. E1.NO, E1.name, E1.basic. Same way 28 bytes are allocated for E2. Right guys? Okay. So I hope you understood this. Then how to access this E1 and E2? I told you. Getting? So as you have created the variable and given name to it, so you are going to access it using dot operator. It's called as a value model. See here. Individual members of struct EMP can be accessed using a member access operator called dot. Okay, so how I am going to access E1's NO name salary by dot. See here what I am doing. This is your E1, and in NO I want to store 25, in name I want to store my name Ajit, and in basic I want to store 4500. I have written the code for it. See here, E1.NO equal to 25. So 25 will get stored in NO of E1. Getting? Then here I want to store a string. Now in your C course you might have studied, can we assign directly a string to an array? No, you have to copy it by using a library function string copy. So E1 dot name, in this memory I am going to copy a string Ajit, and E1 dot basic I am storing 4500. Later I can print that value also. If I want to print it in printf, I can use printf %d %s %f E1.eno, E1.name, E1.basic. Getting? But now suppose guys, you have created a structure variable, means user defined variable, but I am not having its name, I am having its address. An address in what? In a pointer. See here. Assume EP is a pointer and it is containing the address of this structure. And through this EP, I want to access these members. This is called as a reference model. Means whenever you have a memory, and to that memory we have a name, and through that name when you are accessing it, we use dot, that is called as a value model. But you have created a structure. Getting? But currently you are not having a name of it, you have an address of it with you, kept in some other pointer variable. And through that pointer I want to access this. Then C says you have to use arrow operator. Okay, so now how to access it? Using arrow. See here, so to access individual members of a structure indirectly through a pointer, we have to use arrow. Arrow means minus sign and a greater than sign, no complication. Okay, see here, you have created a structure, right? You have stored the data in it, but currently you are having the address of it in one pointer variable. Now you'll say, how did you store it in EP? So you created a pointer of structure and then and E1. And E1 means base address of E1, you copied in EP. Getting? Means you might have created a structure EMP pointer, E capital A star EP. So EP is going to be just a pointer variable in which what we are going to store address of a structure employee. And then later I wrote EP equal to and E1. So and E1 when I write, it gives the base address of E1 which you have collected in EP. So now EP is containing the address of this structure. Through EP now you are going to access these members. Okay, now how you will access that members? So I told you by using which operator? Arrow operator. See here, struct EMP star EP. EP is a structure pointer, means to the compiler you are telling that it's a pointer, meaning you are telling that in this what is to be stored? Address. But whose address? Some structure employee address. And then we are assigning the address. And E1 means E1 is a structure EMP variable. So and E1 means that structure EMP's address which you are collecting in this pointer, and through that pointer you are accessing the members. See, EP arrow NO, it will give 25. EP arrow name, it will give my name Ajit. EP arrow basic, it will give this salary, and that you are printing it using a printf. Getting? So I hope you understood the concept of data type. Okay guys, now in the next session, what we will do is some more terminologies are there, like data object, getting data structure. Okay, then what is abstract data type? That definitions will cover in the next session. So that's all for today's session. Thank you all of you. Keep watching, keep learning.